Bonjour, je suis Carla du CODOFIL avec Dustin Dale Gaspard et Jacques Surette ici au Hideaway à Lafayette, Louisiane pendant le Festival International avec Connexions Acadie-Louisiane.
Ouais.
So much is happening this weekend, but we're really excited to start this conversation with both Dustin and Jacques, who are young performing artists who write and perform in their heritage languages. So, Dustin, maybe let's start with you.
Oh, yes, singer-songwriter from Île des Vaches, Sud de Lafayette, a little place called Cow Island, Louisiana. And I've been writing and performing in my grandparents' language for the past few years. And it's opened so many opportunities, including this one for Connexions Acadie.
Yes. Jacques Surette, singer-songwriter from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. We down in Canada. And c'est ça, j'écris des chansons dans ma propre langue, qui est un mélange du français et de l'anglais. We like to call it Fringlish in certain ways. And yes, I've been doing that for 6-7 years now, and part of Connexions Acadie as well. Yeah.
And so Connexions Acadie-Louisiane, this is the first time that they've sent such a delegation here to showcase Louisianian and Acadian artists. And I was very impressed with the programming because they're marrying these showcases with festival organizers, producers, music bookers, and managers. So I think that's really, really interesting. You guys were talking earlier about Acadie and how you guys have met before, so maybe you guys could get into that.
Oh, yeah. Jacques and I, well, actually, the first time I met you, I don't know if you remember, was for Festival International 2022.
2022. I think I do recall. It's hard to remember all, but I do recall you being around the scene, and I just remember I was like, God, John, that guy can play the guitar.
Well, that's what everyone kept saying. Go see Jacques Surette. He's like so awesome, and you also played with a guitar player that time. Can't remember his name.
Yes, that was Chris Bellevaux at the time.
Yes,
another Acadian from New Brunswick.
Yeah, the Acadians. That goes a long way. So, and now we're here. That was 4 years ago now. Getting to be a part of the festival again.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to be back. Every time I come to this festival, like the main beauty of it is that it's the connections and the overall spirit of the rendezvous. You know, I mean, there's so many different types of music, and to see like that French language kind of correspond with the broken French that's here as well. You know, so it's
you said Fringlish and we said Cajun English. So.
yeah, exactly. You know, so that's the. 2022 is where we initially had met, and now we have the opportunity to speak about it even more.
Can't wait to jam.
Et pour les 40 ans du Festival International, cette année, le CODOFIL ressoutient la francophonie avec la scène Francosphère du CODOFIL. So CODOFIL is so excited to reinvigorate our 40 years of partnership with this festival, and both of you are playing on Scène Francosphère. So I wanted to ask you guys, how did you end up on Scène Francosphère? Because it was a journey getting back to the French language of your heritage.
For me, Lisa Stafford and partner of all the festivals, she kind of handles all the ondoings. She reached out to me, and the original idea was they were just trying to come up with a great stage name, and she had toyed around with all these ideas, and then when they settled on Francosphere, it just sounded perfect, and she said that she wanted me to be a part of it because of my trying to be bilingual nature, and I was awarded a scholarship in 2024, a partial scholarship to attend St. Anne in Nova Scotia and study the French language. And the purpose of that for me was to reinvite the language in a way that I could digest it, and everything that CODOFIL does is in support of reinvigorating our experience with French. And for me, I wanted to tell the story of my Acadian heritage, but I wanted to do it with the language in a very specific way, ways that are untraditional. So that really started my journey, and thank CODOFIL for that. So.
Hey, Jacques?
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know, honestly. I mean, it's more so.
Because you started performing in English.
I did, yeah, and as I progressed, I mean, when I did start, I mean, it was always very inspired by the traditional folklore type of scene there with like Neil Young and Bob Dylan, singer-songwriters that were bringing so much, emotion into what was taking place at the time, So, and the Acadian culture too, I mean, has that essence as well. Just so many things that have taken place over time, but there's a lot of things that have been forgotten and a lot of things that haven't been brought, into full blown light. And, it's me. I mean, all I sing about is more so just experiences that I've been through, funny experiences, love, lost, hate, just different things that you go through. And, it's important to sauvegarder votre accent ou votre accent and bring that to a public. And I think festival here, international, is the perfect place to do it because it's just bombarded with so many different French people, and now with Connexions Acadie, it's bringing Europeans, it's bringing French from all over the world, which is very, very cool.
Absolument, ce programme et le festival, c'est un grand axe économique et la musique est une grosse porteuse de la culture et la langue. So, I mean, this is just an incredible opportunity. You mentioned that you were inspired by Neil Young and maybe some folk musicians, and I would love for you guys to tell me more about your musical style, because when I listened to both of your songs, yes, I'm not a music expert, but they did have some folk tones, and you guys both used astar. The first song I listened to, both of you, I was like, astar. And strings seem to be a big part of your music, so I'd love for you guys to dive into that.
So for me, of course, in Cajun music, there's so much fiddle and blues influence and the accordion, but I wanted to explore it in a way that was more reminiscent of folk songwriters like the Dylans and the Neil Youngs, and that was an interesting thing because there's not too many self-proclaimed Cajun artists that have explored the realm that isn't traditional Cajun structure, I would say. And so I think there was also a big influence from you at the time, and our friends Les Hey Babies in Acadie.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Which are and you as well are just writing songs in the way that I would like to pursue the Cajun heritage of it all. Something in the more of a folk Americana world, that sounds more like songwriters telling stories than it does musicians playing songs.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and I think watching you and a guy with a guitar, it kind of helped me discover a certain path like that, and I think I'm still writing today because of a lot of Acadian artists, less so Cajun artists.
Yeah. I mean, the influences come from all sorts of different degrees, and it's that's what really creates an artist in general is being, influenced by different aspects of their art, so that's very sweet.
I'd like to ask do you feel a deeper connection to what you're capable of saying when you speak French as compared to English, or is it vice versa? Is it the same sometimes?
Yeah, it really all depends on the subject, I guess. It's because I've been focused so much on sur mon français, tous mes albums français, c'est tout à propos des sentiments sentimentaux, I mean, just sentimental sentiments, and sometimes it's the more you focus on something, especially in that language, I'm sure if I were to maybe sit down and write something in English and, I don't know, like change my name to like Sour Jack or something like that, and started a project like that and did dive into it, and so but for me, my Acadian culture really lies deep in the depths of just expressing myself in français and in that sense. But I guess it all depends really. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find I'm interviewing you now? do you find that in my experience, I've witnessed the language, French, just being more malleable and a bit more melodic. Do you have that experience with it as well when you write songs in French?
Sometimes, yeah. It's because I do have a French and English album that's split between the two, and they're completely different worlds.
Wow, yeah.
Of that's my second album, just simply called just Jacques Surette 2, and it's just a duality of two different musical worlds, right? Because, but I find in French it really dives deep into just the traditional. Almost like Johnny Cash, or even finger picking style, where it's more like melodic, like you say, and stuff like that. But yeah, it all depends. I just try to respect the overall vibe of what I'm trying to do at the time, and then whatever emerges from that comes out. You know, so it's
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's great. I love that.
Well, my last question for you guys both would be, and it's okay if you don't have an answer, but c'est quoi l'avenir? What are the next steps for you guys? Do you have any projects in the works? Anything that you're excited to share with us today?
Yeah. L'avenir, dans le futur, I just released an album in October called Les Vieux Chapeaux. So I've been touring that for the time being in October. Yeah, I think it came out in October 2025. Yeah, time is flying too quick. But for now, just touring that. And there's some school tours that I've done in the past, and now it's festival. And after that, back home in Quebec, and a couple festivals this summer, and then probably sit down and write something else, and just continue keeping on, and vive l'Acadie, vive la Francophone, you know.
For me, this also is probably fate. We should write a song together.
Absolutely,
I think we should. I've been assembling an arrangement of bilingual tunes, telling the ancestry of my Acadian heritage, which follows. I'm very lucky to come from the Léger family and the Pinet-Léger family, and they were original Acadians. So I've been working on a project for the past several years now, in between tours and other projects and other adventures, that just tells the exact travel of my ancestral grandmother, Le Grand Arrangement, their exile back to France, and how they ended up in Louisiana. And so that's that whole experience. And then every day, you know, I've even tried to write songs that are not conceptually driven, and they're just everyday songs, you know. So for me, I go back on tour in Canada. I'll be on the West Coast. I'll be all through Alberta and BC.
Darn.
Yeah. But I'm hoping to return to Acadie. I just left there. I was in Prince Edward Island.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, great place there. And then hopefully CODOFIL sponsors me again to get back to Saint Anne. But we'll see what the future has in store there. I know that I'll be playing a lot of music.
Scholarship applications are open. Well, thank you guys so much. Merci beaucoup et bon festival.
Bon festival.